So what will Texas do? Joining us now from Austin is the Attorney General of Texas, Republican Greg Abbott. Mr. Attorney General, welcome. What's your reaction to what you just heard?
Well, Eric, this is nothing more than political theater. Remember that shot you just showed was Eric Holder making the announcement about coming after Texas legally, and that announcement was not in a courtroom. That announcement was at the National Urban League. And remember this other fact also, and that is just months before Eric Holder made that announcement, Barack Obama's national field director has been talking about coming to Texas and trying to turn Texas blue. And then the last thing, and that is that Eric Holder now and the Obama administration are joining a lawsuit working side by side with the Texas Democratic Party trying to change the redistricting maps in the state of Texas. So, Eric, this is nothing more than using the Voting Rights Act for partisan political purposes, and it's highly inappropriate.
Well, the other side says that's what the Republicans are doing. I mean, Holder says that there's discrimination, pointing to that lawsuit. Reverend Jesse Jackson, I interviewed him this week on this. He said that Texas could lose some Latino representation, and he believes it's aimed specifically for political partisan purposes to try and, win elections based on the redistricting.
Eric, I do believe there has been discrimination. However, I believe that discrimination has been practiced by the Democrats, and let me explain why. The Democrats came in and tried to, in fact, did change the Texas election maps in a way to get rid of Hispanic Republicans. They drew maps that eliminated Raul Torres, that eliminated Jose Alicedo, that eliminated Kiko Canseco, that eliminated Aaron Pena. What the Democrats are very concerned about is the fact that Republicans have begun to elect Hispanics in the state of Texas. The Democrats are in a state of panic, realizing that if this connection between Republicans and Hispanics continues, the Democrats are going to be history. And so now they're trying to interject themselves through these legal ways under the penumbra of the Voting Rights Act in a way that is offensive to the true purpose of the Voting Rights Act. The Voting Rights Act is supposed to protect minorities, but yet they are using it to undermine minorities who happen to be Republican.
All right, let's listen to what the Reverend Jackson said. Here it is.
The fact is, based upon the way they drew the lines and gerrymandered, they could rarely eliminate 4 Latino congresspeople, for example. It could be 2 Latinos lost in Arizona. Without some commitment to racial inclusion, you could lose a whole body of black and Latino officials.
I guess the bottom line is, in your view and in Mr. Holder's view, different. Do you think that there is racial discrimination in the way voting is conducted in your state?
Right. Well, clearly, Jesse Jackson does not know the facts of the state of Texas. He doesn't know Raul Torres. He doesn't know Jose Alicedo. He doesn't know Aaron Pena. He doesn't know Kiko Canseco. He doesn't know the Hispanic Republicans who have been removed from office because of the action of Democrats. What people fail to realize is the state of Texas is changing in a very meaningful way, and that is the Republican Party has made genuine, deep, and abiding connections with the Hispanic community. We have begun to elect Hispanics, and then as soon as we did that, the Democrats rush in and the Obama administration rushes in to try to disrupt the connection that we've established with the Hispanic community and the Republican Party in Texas.
But bottom line, I mean, do you feel that the election system is fair? And as you say, Holder's complaints are irrelevant.
We believe that Eric Holder, for one, is basing his complaints going back to 1970 when it was Democrats who controlled the state at the time that were discriminating against African Americans. And he's basing it on 2 cases that the United States Supreme Court has now overturned and vacated the ruling of. And so I believe it is unfair, inappropriate for Eric Holder to base his decision to try to bail Texas in based upon what Democrats did 3 or 4 decades ago.
All right, Attorney General Greg Abbott, I think you're going to be in the courtroom a lot. You got Holder, and there may be another lawsuit against the voter ID, and he's also saying he's going to be moving on to other states that could be South Carolina and elsewhere. So, Mr. Abbott, we thank you. This will be continued, and we'll get you back as this does. And we